Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Jazzy of Who's or Sasquatch here, and we are doing our horror movie night in the cave. It is a special one because it is Friday the 13th. Usually, we do some type of thing. We didn't do it last month because I knew that next month we were going to have one, so I decided to just wait a month. We have no rankings. We're not going to talk. We're going to talk about a Friday the 13th movie, though, one of my favorites. Um, and a couple of new ones. Let's just start with the Friday the 13th that we're going to talk about because it is Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, directed by Rob Hedden, starring Jensen Daggett and Kane Hodder. Jason Voorhees is accidentally awakened from his watery grave and ends up stalking a ship full of graduating high school students headed to Manhattan, New York. This is one of my favorites, I'm not gonna lie. It's silly, it's cheesy, there's a few awesome deaths. It's like crazy nonsense, 80 nonsense going on, 80s nonsense going on with the students. We got like a whole like wannabe punk rock chick. We got the Valley girl. We got the girl that's kind of like, a little nerdy, a little off centered. We have the boxer and a couple other good personalities to kind of bring them on with a strict disciplinarian on the ship. Honestly, when you kind of go back and watch this, like you forget how well done the ship was done to like make it look like it was like a high school like cruise party, prom party, whatever it was supposed to be. It's weird story, like when you really think about it, like and then like the ending, and they just kind of sail back, kind of row back. There's just a lot of weirdness about this movie. For a movie that says Jason takes Manhattan, he's barely in Manhattan, and when he is in Manhattan, he's basically on the docks the whole time. So kind of a little liberty with the name there. I'm sure that this just went through so many rewrites and everything. When you watch the documentary and hear about what all the craziness that happens in some of these movies, you'll know that July 28th, 1989 is when this first came out. A budget of 5 million, had an opening of 6.2 and a gross of 14.3. I mean, every time I'm sure you make a Friday the 13th movie, you have made money from the very beginning of it. So I wouldn't have worried about it. The interesting thing is you always hear about, or that one the interesting thing I heard about or heard the director say, specifically the producer and director for Friday the 13th, to say that they always have you with the last one. So if this the one didn't do very well, it probably means the last one didn't do very well or wasn't very good. I think if you look at seven, it was one of the more controversial ones because it's the one where what's his face comes back and plays Jason or whatever. So it is kind of Tommy Jarvis comes back and plays Jason or whatever that kind of weird spiritual one is. So I can kind of understand why the fans wouldn't come back here, but this gets straight back to old school Friday the 13th, just killing action. Kane Hodder is one of the better ones. And the cool thing about Kane Hodder is when he like kind of like stabs you and does it, he kind of like stabs you and then like kind of plays with you like a predator would play with its food. So I think that he does a very good job with Jason. It's very understated. So that's something I wanted to point out here. That is Jason, or Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan, directed by Rob Hedden. For the two new ones, we have the first one is Cold Storage, directed by Johnny Campbell, starring Joe Keery, Georgina Campbell, and Liam Neeson. When a highly dangerous fungus escapes from a secret laboratory, a former bioterrorism agent is called back into action. Alongside two young employees, he must confront an invisible and out of control threat. This really felt like an old school, like 80s, 90s, like splatterhouse movie. The best thing I can kind of relate it to here is Eight-Legged Freaks. It really does. It kind of like this nonstop action, only like an hour and a half movie on top of it. Joe Keery is very good in it. Regina Campbell is exceptional in it. She was in Psycho Killer too, and I like that movie with her in it. She's very well done. We don't have the budget for it. It just came out 2 weeks ago or a month ago, February 13th, 2026. So it did come out Friday the 13th. Had an opening of 936,000 and a gross of 3.5 million. I'm sure that the budget on this was around like 15 million or so. I'm sure they're gonna be around where they need to be money wise, with like we hear worldwide and stuff like this. Because I mean, this movie's still going, it's still selling, so there's still a final number not yet attached to this. If you do have a chance to go see it in theaters, I would. I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it on streaming service. I enjoyed it just the same. Probably gonna do the same thing with the movies this week. Probably not gonna go see a movie this weekend, to be honest with you. I might go see Scream 7 again, just to go see Scream 7 again, but there's just nothing that's really catching my eye right now. But next week we have some bangers with Ready or Not 2 and Definitely gonna go see that. Probably do a Ready or Not review real quick on the channel beforehand. So look forward to that. This movie here, the Cold Storage, though, definitely worth a watch. Joe Keery is gonna be good. He's so young, and he's coming off Stranger Things, and he'll start to work into things now that he can kind of be free. It'll be interesting to see what he does. We kind of get a new Pullman, or not Pullman, new like kind of what's his name, Dennis Quaid or Randy Quaid or whatever the Quaid kid's name is. We got kind of a new version of this, like where he is and can be, and I'm sure there's even an action star in there somewhere. So interesting to see his development. Liam Neeson pops up hilariously in this movie. Just everything about this feels like a '90s offbeat dark comedy. I'm telling you, you'll so much enjoy it if you love those '90s movies. So check that out. It is Cold Storage, directed by Johnny Campbell. We have one more we're going to talk about here. The Strangers, Chapter 3, directed by Rennie Harlan, starring Hannah Galway, Emma Horvath, Crystal Ellsworth, and Gabrielle Basso. In the series' most brutal chapter, Maya collides with the masked killers and finds a way out of the nightmare. Is the only way out of that nightmare is in it. February 6th, so it came out a week before Cold Storage, had an opening of 3.4 and a gross of 9.1 million. Honestly, this movie for the Stranger Things chapter, for the last three Stranger Things movies that came out, this movie is actually one of the better ones. Honestly, if you would have kind of edited out this whole trilogy better, because this supposedly a whole planned trilogy. I didn't even look up to see the director, the same director as the last two, but I'm sure it was the whole plan was to like kind of run them together. If you watch them, it's all back to back. You kind of edited this out weird and kind of made this the first movie. You probably would have hooked more people and got into them into the theater into the second movie. You could have edited, like, you could have really edit out these three movies, and you really could make a really good trilogy here with this, especially with the story. It's just too bad they waited until the final chapter here to really make a movie worth watching out of the Strangers kind of series, especially like the original Strangers, which is really just supposed to be like a cash hit, kind of coming off of no vacancy and stuff like that. So, I mean, really disappointed me that I watched this movie and I was like, man, if they could have edited these three movies, just start here. Like I maybe one of the videos this year, maybe by the end of the month, I'll try and put that Stranger 3 chapter together and make a better, more cohesive movie that would be more entertaining than the three we got, which was the first one was kind of flat. The second one was kind of like a follow up to the second one. Kind of reminds you of Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2. And then it kind of worked from there into this movie, which was like a real good, like kind of little thriller movie that is kind of hidden here. So interesting there. This movie is interesting enough. I'm sure it's going to be on Prime. It's going to be everywhere. I'm pretty sure that's where I watched it was Prime. So look for that. It's coming out. That is, especially if you've already watched the other two, you might as well just finish it off here because this is the best one out of the three, to be honest with you. And that's really not saying much. That is The Strangers, Chapter 3, directed by Rennie Harlan. So we have Friday the 13th coming up. I basically decided that from starting midnight, so I think starting midnight on Friday the 13th, I'm just going to watch all of Friday the 13th movies. Just one back to back to back to back. I'll probably sleep, and then come back and then wake up where I left off and then continue that. And then if we get that one special person that's going to join and make it 100 for the live view, we will live view one of the movies tomorrow night if we can get it, since we're not going to the theaters because all the theater movies this week suck. So that is something looking forward to if we can get it. Just one person, that's all it's going to take. And I'm sure that we can do that. I'm very sure that there's going to be one person who just watches it, sees my lovely voice, and decides that that is the guy they want to follow from here on out for the movie news. So please be that one person. Thank you guys very much for watching, and please have a good rest of your day or night.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment your top movie picks for Throwback Thursday in the comment section. And see you next time in the cave.